Welcome back, everyone. So, you're a fan of true crime. Do you like true crime stories that have twists and turns and that make you sit on the edge of your seat waiting for the next shoe to drop? If you do, you're going to love this story. What started off as a simple investigation into the disappearance and murder of one individual quickly turned into a twisted case of so many other allegations and crimes and murders and disappearances on top of the original victim that I was researching. And the systemic amount of ongoing crimes that are involved in this in the background are shocking. Truly shocking. So let's jump into it today. And thank you for joining me. What started off as an investigation into the disappearance and murder of a soldier from Fort Hood, Guillen, Texas, quickly turned really weird as I dug into this case more and more. Vanessa Guillen, age 20, was last seen April 22nd in the parking lot there of her squadron headquarters, and it appeared by all accounts from the still photos that the Army shared with the Associated Press and also local television stations that she looked like she was going for her jog like she normally would do 2 days a week. Now, she didn't always do her jogs on the same day or at the same time, but twice a week for, as long as she's been there at Fort Hood, she has taken these jogs. She was last seen wearing a black t-shirt, sweatpants, and running shoes. She could be seen stretching, as a pre-jog ritual, workout, and then she takes off on her jog. This was the last official sighting of Vanessa Guillen. Then, everything, kind of just went into limbo. It's surprising because either the Army knows more or they're not willing to tell anything else. But for a while of a period thereafter, they didn't really want to talk about what was going on. And there may be a reason behind that, and we'll get into that. So Vanessa Guillen joined the Army in 2018, quickly attaining the rank of Private First Class. By all accounts, according to the articles I've read online with Stars and Stripes and with the White Line, Vanessa was somebody who wanted to not only lift up herself and from her social economic level where she wanted an education, and her family couldn't afford to put her through college, nor did she want to go broke for the rest of her life to pay off student loans to attain a higher education. She joined the Army with that in mind. Shortly after graduating boot camp, she spoke fondly of the Army and, with friends and family, that this may be something that was more than what she, recently knew, or knew what the Army could offer for her. More that to the side of maybe this could be a career where she could actually transfer into what her actual goals and interests were. But it was, by all accounts, Vanessa was somebody who wanted to help not only herself, but she wanted to help lift up others. And even those who served with her in boot camp and afterwards said Vanessa had always been someone who could be relied upon and wanted to help. That's all she ever wanted to do was help. Unfortunately, Vanessa's path crossed with another individual there at Fort Hood who wasn't in her squadron, wasn't in her unit, wasn't in the same job as her, but she ran across this individual, and it would be the downfall for Vanessa. Vanessa crossed a path with Aaron David Robinson. Aaron David Robinson, also age 20, recently enlisted in the Army as well and out of boot camp. Aaron David Robinson had joined the United States Army in October of 2017. Aaron David Robinson came from a troubled area in Illinois. He wasn't a bad kid. He just was in an area where there wasn't a lot to hope for. Born into poverty, he saw the Army as one of two paths that he had in life. He could either A, stay where he was and end up in jail and going down the wrong path, or B, join the Army and get the heck out of where he was. He at least was smart enough to join the Army and do that. But you couldn't take the thug out of Aaron David Robinson, and he was a thug. So this is where it starts to take a twist. Vanessa disappeared and it was last seen April 22nd. A friend of hers who had started the hashtag to help find and raise awareness for the disappearance for Vanessa, Krista Martinez. She went by two different, variations of her first name. Started the hashtag to help and raise awareness for the disappearance of Vanessa. While the investigation was ongoing into the disappearance, Krista would die in a single car accident. And there isn't a single person who knew Krista Martinez who believes this was an actual accident. They believe that she was murdered because she had been, since retiring and leaving, honorably discharged from the Army, she had been raising awareness about sexual assault and abuse there on the Fort Hood, within the different units within Fort Hood. We'll just say that. She had filed a complaint herself while she was in, and it never went anywhere. She had raised awareness through social media of the ongoing sexual assault and harassment and abuse that was taking place there at Fort Hood. And then she got deep into trying to help raise awareness for her friend Vanessa, who was missing. And then she died in a tragic single car accident. Again, nobody knows her, believes that it was an accident. They all believe that it was set up and that she was murdered. So going back to recent events in Aaron David Robinson, because we have another twist coming up. Aaron David Robinson wasn't dating Vanessa. He was somebody who knew her. This is true. They were, I guess, friends, acquaintances, whichever you prefer to use, which terminology and how well you want to believe. He probably believed that he was closer to her than she was to than she would ever admit to being close to him. Aaron David Robinson was dating not one, but two different women at this time. He was dating one that was still married, and another one that was the former wife of another soldier from Fort Hood. The one who was married to a former soldier, Cecil Ann Aguilera, age 22, who was born and lived in Guillen, Texas, not a soldier herself, was someone who was really close to Aaron David Robinson and believed that the two of them had a future together. Cecilia or Cecil Ann Aguilera, we're just going to refer to her as Ann because the two names, well, the other lady, I can't reveal her name, but let's call her Ann. But Ann went above and beyond and did a lot for Aaron David Robinson. So much so, she's now in jail. And she's going to be there for an awfully long time. Because she has now been charged with second-degree murder, felony tampering with a corpse, along with federal charges for tampering and destruction of a corpse and lying to an investigation, as part of an investigation. But the twist isn't that one. Aaron David Robinson, Ann Aguilera, Chrissy Martinez. What do those three all have in common? Well, the three of them are also connected to another missing, now found, deceased, murdered soldier, Gregory Morales. Gregory Morales disappeared August of 2019 and knew Aaron David Robinson, Ann Aguilera, and Krista Martinez. There is no connection, as of yet, that the Army is willing to talk about when it comes to Vanessa Guillen. So as the police were, and the investigation unit there with the Army were closing in on Aaron David Robinson, he fled the base and would end up taking his own life. So now he won't be able to answer to what or why he did what he did to Vanessa. I will say, and I'm only going to briefly cover this, Vanessa was attacked and killed with a blunt object, originally is what they said, and it turned out to be a hammer. Her body was then dismembered with a machete, and Aaron David Robinson tried to dispose of her remains by setting her corpse on fire, but it turned out to be a lot harder than he believed, and he instead buried her in a shallow grave. Gregory Morales was also buried in a shallow grave in approximate same area as Vanessa. This is a wooded area that is just off of the Fort Hood area, base itself, not too far away. Are they connected? Did Aaron David Robinson have anything to do with Gregory Morales' murder or the murder of Krista Martinez? We don't know. At this time, it doesn't look like there is a possibility that Aaron David Robinson had anything to do with Gregory Morales' murder. So that means there's another murder on the Fort Hood base. Is there another murder, another person involved who is connected, who has ties to 3 out of the 4 people in this case? We don't know. But we know for sure we have 3 people who are dead. Not counting Aaron David Robinson, who took his own life. We have one lady in jail who the Army and the police have a very strong case against, because forensic evidence comes back to not only against Aaron David Robinson, but also to Ann Aguilera. That's where the case is right now. Vanessa Guillen, tragically taken from us in the world before her time. Krista Martinez, gone, taken long before her time was up. Gregory Morales, gone, taken tragically before his time as well. Aaron David Robinson, killed at least once before and dismembered a body, and then got his girlfriend, who was married to another former soldier at Fort Hood, to help him dismember and get rid of the body of Vanessa. She's currently in jail and is going to be there for an awfully long time. Thank you for joining me.